So I have a wonderful mama here that has her house full of beautiful children. And then she's also a foster mom as well. So a real dedication there. And um, one of them, I don't know if they came from the foster, but I know that you have one that's adopted.
I
So
do.
tell me a little bit about your son that you adopted
Sure.
and what some of his struggles.
Okay. So we became licensed to be a foster family in 2015. And our first little bundle of joy was Isaiah. Got him at birth from the hospital. He had had some drug exposure in utero, but other than that, a healthy, normal sized newborn. And we went through the whole fostering process with him. And then we were given the privilege to adopt him at the end of his case. We have gone on to foster several more infants, but Isaiah is our only adopted baby. He developed completely normally, joyful, just brilliant, darling little guy. And it wasn't till around, well, I'd say around 18 months, actually, we started to notice some signs of just the internal struggle that adopted kids have as far as rejection and just feelings of maybe not belonging. And at that time, he would express it in his little baby way of just saying, I miss mommy, I miss daddy, I miss Gramps, I miss Yaya, even though we were all there. He had seen it, would see us all the time, but he just had a missing in him. And so even as a teensy kid, he was able to express that.
Wow.
Still extremely happy child until about the age of 3.5 or 4. And I say still, he's still a happy child, but he started to experience his bend would be negative self-talk. And if he would get hurt, he would resist parents comforting him. He would push us away instead of letting us embrace him and comfort him through his hurt. There was a lot of I am dumb, I am not smart, I am not good at soccer, just constant self-talk, bad self-talk, and resisting us, his siblings and his parents. So, I read a lot. And so I knew about trauma response and all of these things. And even though we got him straight out of the hospital, there is a primal wound there that he has in his mind been rejected by his first mom. It is a wound only God can heal, but we pray that we can help him through that every day. So as he grew, that has become a bigger and bigger part of his day and his personality, is the negative self-talk, the strive for perfection and acceptance, the resistance of tender, loving care from those closest to him. It's been a very hard, sad time until recently when brain helped us. We're in such a good spot right now. Like I can't stop smiling. But anyway, Brain Sprints has helped us immensely with the hole in Zeze's heart.
Well, that is very interesting because there is really a response in the brain where the chemicals just dissolve some pathways, and there is that empty place of rejection, abandonment, that kind of thing. But we have seen, like with Isaiah, some real turnaround. So share with us a little bit more about, you were working with your other son.
Yes.
I think you just asked me if I thought it would help him, or maybe you already just knew in your knower.
Well, I mean, I think it was when I was preparing for Jonah's initial visit with you that I was poking around on your website looking for testimonials and just more information of what I could expect when I saw a bullet point that mentioned that Brain Sprints has also been known to help adoption trauma. And my heart just leapt into my throat that maybe this was the answer for both of my sons. And so I started Jonah and then inquired with you that day if you thought it would help Isaiah. And then at Jonah's next visit with you, we started Isaiah.
Yeah, that was a lot. You know, you talked about with Jonah, it was a lot to work with him on the Brain Sprints program. It's we often tell people, you know, it's just a sprint. If you don't have a child that has a syndrome or, you know, autism or something like that, it's really a short period of time that you have to work hard like you do on the Brain Sprints program. But it's so a sprint instead of a marathon is much better when you have that much to do. But when you have two on program, that's a lot, and fostering on top. I often thought of you as super mom, actually.
Oh, well, let me tell you, my dad lives down the street and he had parts of Brain Sprints that he would come down and do with us every week because I just could not keep up with it all and try to do it both, all of it with excellence. So he committed to helping the boys as well through the program.
It's great to have that support, you know, in with families. So I'm so glad you had it and so close by. That's wonderful.
It was a gift.
So tell us a little bit about, I mean, Isaiah wasn't really struggling academically, right?
No, he definitely was struggling academically.
Too.
We started his program, he was 6.5, maybe. He's 8.5 now, so maybe he was 7 already. But it had started with kindergarten. He really struggled to learn. Again, almost the same as Jonah in that math came easily, but he could not remember the alphabet. It has been in the last year that he's been able to recite to me the alphabet. There was no ability for him to retain information. And I think through working with you, Jan, it's become evident that he was in fight or flight continuously. That's where he lived his life, is in the fight, flight, or freeze zone. And so he was unable to do anything but survive. He could not learn.
Yeah.
So as we've calmed down that response, he's been able to proceed with learning. So he can read and do math and like school now.
Good. Well, I think you mentioned to me last time I saw you that there's just been a tremendous difference in his emotional response to life as well.
He is like a different child from when we started Brain Sprints. It is awesome to witness. He, in fact, the other day he stubbed his toe really bad and did the same thing he always used to do, which is come pounding in the house, slam the door, pounding into his room, slam the door, lean against the door, screaming. And I went and knocked, and pretty soon the door opens and he just dove into my arms and let me comfort him and hold him. And I was crying because that is a new thing for him, to allow me to comfort him in his pain. Rather than lashing out at me that I allowed this to happen to him. And so we are seeing normal childlike responses from him in all walks of life. He is able to be talked down from anxiety and cope with new situations and accept love and affection from all of us in his family. It has just been a remarkable, unbelievable transformation. My mom the other day said his face is looking so chubby, and then she realized, oh, it's because he's smiling all the time. He is a joyful boy. And I know we'll have more roads ahead as he goes through different developmental stages of hardness, but man, we are soaking this up right now. It is remarkable to see.
That is so great. Well, we are truly fearfully and wonderfully made. God made us to heal, you know, in all different ways, from a scratch to those emotional wounds as well. So I'm so excited for his future and how he's talking positive about himself instead of negative. That, you know, those self-fulfilling prophecies are really bad.
Indeed.
As you know.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with anybody that's fostering or considering adoption? Anything?
I would say just be aware that that beautiful little bundle that you bring home from the hospital has gone through trauma. They do come to you already wounded, and it is better to be on the front end as far as prepared for that, and be especially prepared not to take it personally. But this is the little one that God has entrusted you with and equipped you to care for. And there are ways through it and to help them cope. It is a wonderful, worthy cause, adoption. Isaiah has brought us endless joy, but it is not the same as raising your biological child, even if you love them just the same. It is a special thing to be handled carefully. So, but Brain Sprint has helped us so much through these hard transitions, and it just, as much work as it is, I've never felt so hopeful for both of my sons. It has truly been an answer to prayer. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. In fact, you don't know this, Dr. Jan, but it's a real thing. The end of the brain sprints is terrifying. It was with Jonah. I know we're not at the end with Isaiah, still some ground to cover, but it's like, what do we do after that? It's a real comfort to be in it and know that you're moving forward to heal.
Well, that is great. I have a hard time graduating people sometimes because you're just so special, and your family is definitely a special one to me.
Oh.
I'm glad that you brought that up about, loving. You think, why wouldn't love be enough?
Okay.
But it really is not. And so you have to not blame yourself in that kind of situation. And yeah, when we can build those new pathways, the whole world opens up to them.
Yes.
So I'm so excited to have you as a client and be a part of these boys' journey.
Oh gosh, we are endlessly thankful to you. You have changed our family and their lives forever.
Well, I give God all the glory for that.
As
And
do I.
and the moms that do the hard work, which is you. So
it's a joy to watch them grow.
it is, for sure. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jan.
Bye.